Hi everyone, I'm Rahi Joshi. I'm the mentor for the German QSTP and I'll be the moderator for this session. Today we have Miss Shubhada Choudhury with us. She completed her MA in German Translation and Interpretation from JNU. She has been associated with various German companies throughout her 29 years career. She joined Daad Mumbai in 2011 and she currently heads the Daad Information Point in Mumbai. The Daad promotes academic exchange between Germany and other countries. It provides information to prospective students about the procedures for studying and doing research at institutions of higher education, as well as research institutions in Germany. It also provides annual fellowships and short-term research grants, supports guest professorships, and project-related funding. Today, Shubhada ma'am will be giving us information about various art scholarships, programs, and the importance of learning the German language. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Rahi. So, I'm Shubhada Choudhury. Maybe some of you have interacted with me, maybe seen my video on YouTube. So, I will just give you a small introduction about the DAAD first, and then I would like to show you a short film. All right. Rahi, is everybody able to hear me, and is there any lag? If you could just let me know that.
I don't think there's any lag, ma'am. I'll let you know if anyone tells me.
All right. Thank you so much.
It's fine, ma'am.
All right. So what is the DAAD? So basically the DAAD is the German acronym for the German words Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst, which is the German Academic Exchange Service. The DAAD was founded by a German student in Berlin in 1925. And we have been operating since then with a short pause during the Second World War when, all exchange organizations with the US were banned. Now the headquarters of the DAAD are in Bonn. You might be aware of the fact that Bonn was the erstwhile capital of West Germany. And there are lots of governmental organizations still in Bonn. We also have an office in Berlin because now Berlin is the capital of Germany. And the DAAD is primarily a funded organization, which means that it's not a cost center. And it is funded by the German Federal Foreign Office, which is the Foreign Ministry of Germany, and the Ministry of Education and Research of Germany. We are a not-for-profit organization, which means that for whatever services that we do provide, we do not charge anything. So I would like to bring to your notice specifically over here is that German universities do not go through consultants. That is something you have to please keep in mind. Unlike other countries, the German universities do not operate through consultants, and the DAAD is the umbrella head for all the German universities. So if you have any queries, you can always come back to us. I will be sharing the contact details later on. And even in India, we have been active since 1960. So in fact, this year, we celebrate our 60 years in the region because the India branch office is not only responsible for India, but it's also responsible for Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan. And we are the largest funding organization of our kind in the world, supporting international exchange of students and scholars, with more than 1.5 lakh overseas scholarships awarded in 2018. That's a huge number of scholarships. And the scholarships are awarded to Germans who want to go out into the world and for students from the rest of the world who want to study or research in Germany. So that is the basic of the DAAD. And now let me start the short film. There are some technical adjustments that I need to do. In the meanwhile, Rahi will tell you, give you some further instructions.
If you guys have any questions throughout the talk, just post them on the Google form, and then I'll ask it to ma'am after her talk.
Tanishk, are you there? Tanishk, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't seem
Yes,
to
ma'am.
go on to the Google Meet option where I can change the present options.
So, ma'am, it's next. Yeah.
Yeah, now I
Yeah,
have
ma'am.
been able to go. All right.
This- You can stop presenting, then you can present the Chrome screen.
Yeah.
Is there any problem, ma'am? Hello, ma'am. Switch on your microphone.
Could you please switch on your microphone, ma'am?
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, we can't see the video. So, did you present the Chrome tab?
Yeah, I did.
Ma'am, can you please check once?
Yeah, just give me a second. Can you see it now? I haven't started it, but can
No,
you see it on screen?
no, ma'am.
It says can't share your screen.
Ma'am, don't share your screen. Just share the Chrome tab.
Yeah, I'm sharing the Chrome tab now. Can you see anything?
Okay, ma'am, we'll see it later. Just carry on with the presentation.
All right. Can you see something now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We can
ma'am.
see the video.
Now you can see it. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let me go back to the control.
My name's Nancy Wong. I come from Beijing, China.
Dänemark,
Frankreich,
Brasil,
Kamerun,
No, there seems to be some issue, Tanishk, today.
Ma'am, please carry on with the presentation. We'll see that later.
All right. Yeah, is that now visible?
Yes, ma'am. It's now fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, of course, for all the people who are attending today's webinar, Germany does seem to be a interesting destination for higher studies, and of course, the language also. So first and foremost, when you think of Germany, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is excellent innovation, excellent research and instruction, because innovation does not happen in thin air. And since the first known innovation of the Gutenberg printing press in 1940, and the first Nobel Prize that was awarded to Röntgen for the X-ray, innovation has been going on and on and on in Germany till probably the latest 2017 Nobel Prize for chemistry. So, of course, innovation does not happen in thin air, and there is a certain structure to the whole research process in Germany. And that is that there is a very close link between theory and practice. In fact, Germany has the only one of its kind type of universities or training at all, which is called dual education in that sense, which combines theory and practice together. So it is very applied in nature, and there is a very specific name for it in Germany called praxis. Of course, then there is strong international focus. There are more than 3 million international students in Germany, which comprises of a little more than 13% of the entire student population, which is huge. And there are international degree programs that are taught in the English language, which means that we as an English speaking population can jolly well take advantage of this. Another thing that weighs very much on towards favor in students wanting to go to Germany is that 95% of the German universities do not charge a tuition fee, which means you're already getting a tuition waiver for practically every course that you do want to go to in Germany. And then, of course, there are excellent career opportunities that are available in Germany after you have completed your studies. So let us look at this in short, but one by one. So as I said, 3.8 million students, 13% of foreigners, which gives a completely different dimension to your thought process. It opens up your thought process, which is extremely important for the, the research type of thought process that is at all there. And then, of course, as you can see, there has been a huge increase of Indian students going to Germany. So if you take 2014, it was just 11,000, or rather in 2010, when we did start collecting data, it was only 5,000 and something. And now it has surged to more than 20,800 in the 2018 winter academic year. So as I said, there is a different type of university in Germany. So Germany, of course, has the normal universities, and of course also the technical universities, which are called the TUs. And the universities and technical universities, TUs, that is, we call them TUs, focus on methodical and theoretical knowledge. It's research-based, and so even the final thesis for masters is research-based. There is a wide range of subjects available at universities. Of course, technical universities do focus on technology subjects and engineering. But like in India, they also have some bit of management and a little bit of humanities. And the degrees that are available at universities and technical universities are everything that is offered by the German universities, which is bachelor's, master's, doctorates, and postdoctorates. In comparison, the universities of applied sciences, as the name suggests, they are more application-oriented with a close connection to the professional world and industry. And this is more application-oriented, as I said, praxis-oriented. So the final thesis also is praxis-oriented. The internship also is generally in the industry or the corporate sector, as against an industry in a research institution at a university. Typical subjects are engineering, business administration, social sciences, design. And the degrees that are offered by the universities of applied sciences are bachelor's and master's majorly, because this is praxis oriented. This is not research oriented. Of course, nowadays we do see an overlap because the character of research itself is changing more and more from curiosity driven fundamental research to solution oriented applied research. So a few PhD courses are also offered by the universities of applied science. So this is the major difference, and you have to decide what would you like to do before you choose a course, whether you would like to go into research or whether you would like to go into the industry. So if you want to go into research, which means that you would be choosing a university or technical university, because only they are mandated to offer a PhD. And research really starts in its, in its totality in PhD. So as I said earlier, there are a number of English taught programs. There are over 2,000 international degree programs taught in English in Germany. These are bachelor's, master's, and structured doctoral programs. These are all internationally recognized degrees. And as I said, the language of instruction is English. And this is frequently supplemented by German language courses on campus. There are also a few English-German courses where majority, which means about 70 to 80% of the course is taught in English and 20 or 30% is taught in German. So basically soft skills and all that will be in German, maybe some even technical aspects. So that is also an option. And there is intensive academic advising available for international students because the teaching methodology is different, the culture, everything is quite food, drink, everything is quite different in Germany. And a listing of all these programs is available on these two websites, the international programs. So the main website for India is daad.in and the German website is daad.de. So yeah, when I speak of international programs, it also comes to the fact that there are German taught programs as well. And even if you are doing an English language program, from an academic standpoint, you would require a good score in IELTS or TOEFL. But to be able to integrate socially into the social structure of the university, the culture of the city, Germany, we always recommend that you should at least have A2 level of German language proficiency, which is the basic level of German language proficiency. Of course, if you want to do one of the mixed courses, English-German courses, then you would require a B2 level of German language proficiency. And if you want to stay back and work in Germany, you positively will require B2 level or C1 level of German language proficiency. That is a must. You might have aced your masters, but if you don't have good German skills, then it is practically impossible for you to get a job in Germany. And of course, for German taught programs, you will require a test DAF TDN4, which is an extremely high level of German language proficiency, which is called near native. So that is extremely difficult to get. So we always generally recommend English taught programs or English plus German taught programs where the German language proficiency required is not as high. Of course, as I said, it's extremely important for you to have at least the basic knowledge of German to start with, because in an international program that you will attend, people from various countries. So, for example, 30 students in the class, maybe from 25 different countries, and everybody does not know English. So the main language of conversation would generally be German. And that is why I really was wanting to show that film. So, maybe we can see it at the end if time permits. Okay. And then, of course, as I said earlier, it is extremely cost effective to study in Germany. 95% of German universities do not charge a tuition fee. What you do need to pay is a semester contribution to the students' union, and the facilities provided by them at the university. Unlike in India, the student union plays a very important role in Germany. In fact, all housing and facilities at the university are provided through the students' union. And this semester contribution can range from 50 euros to 350 euros, depending on the town, city, and the facilities provided by the university. And this also includes a semester ticket on the state transport, which means that even your living costs come down a little. Of course, there are niche courses and there are private universities which do have a substantial fee. And all this detail will be available in the international programs web search engine that I mentioned a little earlier. And then I said that there is a huge amount of research that takes place in Germany. So what is the German research landscape like? So first of all, research takes place at universities or higher education institutions. So universities and universities of applied sciences that we already spoke of a little bit. And then, of course, there is a plethora of non-university based research institutions. So Max Planck Society is one of them. So Mr. Planck is a Nobel laureate. I'm sure anybody who is interested in Germany would know about Max Planck, would know about Einstein. Then, of course, there are other research institutions also, like the Helmholtz Association, the Fraunhofer, the Leibniz, etc. And then there are a lot of state-funded research institutions. And now, of course, in today's times, Berlin is a hotbed for startups. And there are huge amount of incubators and related infrastructure available throughout Germany. And of course, there is tremendous amount of industrial research that happens in Germany. So you must have heard corporates like Siemens, Bayer, BASF, etc., which do huge amount of research. So yeah, so this is the basic research landscape. And just to give you the non-university research institutions, this is what it is: the Max Planck Society, the Helmholtz Association of National Research Centers, the Leibniz Association, and the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft. These non-university research institutions also play a very important role in the scholarship provided by the DAAD, which we will talk about a little bit later. Yeah. Rahi, over to you.
Yeah, ma'am, could you please tell us about the master's as well as the PhD program? So we asked some of the students, and everyone wants to know about all the programs that you can give us information about.
Okay. Okay, so I already spoke about masters more or less. I would like to speak about a little bit about the doctoral programs. So as I said earlier, there are two types of programs. One is the individual doctoral programs. So these are the traditional programs where, you decide on the subject that you want to work on. You define the research proposal, and then you you find the best professor in that field to guide you. So basically, you have to write to the professor and to gain their interest and confidence to take you as a PhD student. Of course, in the individual doctoral programs, the candidates work independently. Unlike in India, in Germany, nobody will, keep a tab on you. So as a student, you have to be very independent in thought and process. And again, the professor is not going to meet you every day. The professor will meet you by appointment, say once in 2 months, and you have to present your whole research up till then and what you propose to do in the coming next 2 months, 2 or 3 months, depending on the cycle. So that is how it works. Nobody is going to sit on your, breathe down your throat saying that, oh, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. No, it doesn't work like that. So what the individual doctoral program means that the candidate requires extremely good organizational skills and a very high degree of self-discipline. But on the other hand, an individual doctoral program provides the candidates the freedom to explore their research interests to the depth that they want to. They set their own limit in that sense, In contrast, the structured doctoral program, as the name suggests, structure. This is a doctoral program that is offered by universities through their graduate schools or through research groups of the non-university research institutions in cooperation with the university, because the research institutions by themselves are not mandated to award a PhD. So, but what happens is that the research infrastructure and the topics and things is far more at a research institution because it is only focused on research. So that's what happens. You enroll at a university, but your actual research happens at a research laboratory. So these structured programs are available at either graduate schools of the university or at the research institutions as well. This has got a fixed structure, and generally you would have multiple guides. And of course, the research topic is already decided. So you are joining a research group who is already working on this topic. So you might have to adjust your research topic according to what is being offered. You might not have the flexibility as you have in an individual doctoral program. So these are the two differences, and all structured doctoral programs are listed on the International Degree Web Search Engine, and you can see the various course content and the requirements and everything over there. So these are the two different types of PhDs that are there. So then another important point, after no tuition fees, which brings down the cost, but you do have to pay for your living expenses. And the living expenses as of now, so now the whole aspect is about BC and AC instead of AD. So before Corona and after Corona. So before Corona, the living expenses were mandated by the German government at 853 euros per month, which comes to 10,236 euros per year, which is approximately 8.5 lakhs. So now if you see, the maximum amount will go in rent and utilities. Of course, in smaller towns and university towns, in Germany, there is this whole concept of a university town. It means that you take a small town and then the whole university is spread across the whole town, So one administrative block will be in, so the whole campus is the city, or the town itself, So that is the difference in such cases. Or in smaller university towns, of course, the rent and utilities might be lower. Munich is the most costly, and it can, the living expenses per month can reach up to even 900 or 1,000 euros in Munich, followed by the bigger cities like Frankfurt, Berlin, Cologne, and, the bigger cities. And then, of course, food and beverages, clothing, and etc. Car and public transportation is taken care of to some extent, at least by, due to the state transport pass that you get in your student contribution. And of course, Germany is known for recreation and culture and sports. So that is something that also needs to be taken care of. So this is what it is, expected. And you're expected to open a blocked account before you apply for the visa. Then, of course, as an international student, you're allowed to work for 120 full days or 240 half days without a work permit. People who, who are working as university teaching assistants or research assistants may work longer. But please note that such work contracts, either on campus or off campus, must be notified to the Foreigners Registration Office. Once you have completed your degree, so it can be either master's or it can be bachelor's, PhD, you are allowed to work for 18 months in Germany. You are allowed to stay back in Germany for 18 months to find suitable employment. Once you do find an employment, then the job search visa, which is on during this 18 months, will be changed into a work permit. And work options exist not only in Germany and world over, but also in India. You may not be aware, but there are more than 1,700 German branch offices, sister concerns, or whatever XYZ collaborations and all that existing in India today. So if you have heard of the Chakan belt in Pune, practically all automotive companies are placed over there. So a little bit about the various scholarships that the DAAD provides. As I said earlier, there are practically no tuition fees, so you're already getting a tuition waiver or a scholarship in that sense. The scholarships that are awarded by the or offered by the DAAD are of different kinds. So at the bachelor's level, you have the study visit and study seminars that are available for students for bachelor's and master's. And this is a group program where 10 to 12, 15 people can travel with one professor to deepen their understanding about the whole German educational setup. So in this case, the DAAD will take care of your flight, your air travel, as well as your living costs. Of course, what you need to do or what your professor needs to do is that actually get in touch with the university and fix the itinerary. That is extremely important. The other very popular scholarship is the WISE scholarship, which is the Working Internship in Science and Engineering. This is a limited scholarship, meaning that it's not open to everybody. There is a list of approximately 76 institutions, which are institutions of national importance as notified by the Ministry of Education India, and BITS Goa is listed under this. So this is basically a 2 to 3 month internship. Internship scholarship, where you can do your internship either at institutes of higher education or research institutes. That's why I said those research institutes and understanding the research institutes is extremely important for the scholarship. So basically the target group is bachelor students who are in their 5th and 6th semester at the time of application, or students who are enrolled in integrated programs in their 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th semester at the time of application. The duration of this scholarship is 2 up to 3 months, but not exceeding 90 days, because if you exceed 90 days, then a different visa comes into the scene, and that is a very long procedure for that. So that is the visa that the students generally apply for who are going for master's or PhD. The deadline is 1st of November every year, and the announcement will be available on the www.daad.in, and the announcement will generally be available from end of August. The one major criteria for this scholarship is that you have to have an 8.5 CGPA. Yeah. Then some of the master's scholarships, we have a limited number of master's scholarship also. And this first one is called the EPOS, which is Educating Professionals for Sustainable Development. So this is all regarding sustainability and renewability. This is again also a limited scholarship in the sense that it has got approximately 40 courses listed under it, under various fields. And this requires at least 2 years work experience in the relevant field, because this is educating professionals. And the whole idea of this scholarship is that the master's students go to Germany, learn the cutting edge technology, and then come back to their development, how should I say, development oriented countries, and then apply that experience. The other one is in public policy and good governance, that is the PPGG. We have a small module coming up on PPGG in the next 2 days, I think. You can check up our website, daad.in. Then there is the language and culture summer courses. This is a short course scholarship to improve your general language or special language, depending on, and the cultural knowledge of the country. For this, you have to be enrolled either at a bachelor's or a master's. And if you are enrolled in bachelor's, you will be in your 2nd year. If you are enrolled for master's, you will be enrolled in your 1st year. And you need a B1 level of German language proficiency certificate to apply for this scholarship. Then we have special scholarships for architects. And of course, special scholarships in the field of music, performing arts, fine arts, design, visual communication, and film, etc. If you're interested in any one of those, you can write to me and then we can discuss that offline. And then this is our flagship scholarship, the PhD scholarship. This is an open scholarship. It is available to all fields. 3 years scholarship, because in Germany, generally a PhD is for 3 years, unlike in India, where it can be up to 5 or 7 years. This is for both individual and structured PhD. And the deadline is 15th of October every year. The two mandatory things that you need to have to apply for this scholarship is that first, you need to have an acceptance from a German university, either in terms of an acceptance from a professor or an admission to a structured program. And secondly, you should have a first class in your master's. Your master's also generally should be full-time 2 years master's. And the deadline is 15th of October every year. And then there is the sandwich model scholarship, where you are registered as a PhD student at an Indian university, and you can apply for a scholarship to do your field research for 1 year in Germany. This is also applicable to all fields. Deadline again is 15th of October. In this case, you require 2 guides, one in Germany and one in India. All the details about the scholarships are available on the daad.in website. You can visit it, go through the details of the scholarships, and if you have any queries, you can either come back to me, or we have a lot of Q&A sessions going on, and you can attend one of those Q&A sessions. Apart from the DAAD, there are lots of other funding organizations that are there in Germany. And you can also look up those organizations if some of the rules and regulations of the DAAD scholarship, do not apply to you. And this is the funding-guide.de. You can also find this on the daad.in. And then, of course, these are my contact details. You can contact me either through mail or through my mobile phone right now. We are all working from home during the because of the COVID-19 situation right now. So the direct numbers, of course, is not available. That is it from my side regarding the information that we have. So over to you, Rahi.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, could we try to show the video once again before we begin with the question answer session?
All right, let's try. Let me first go back and try sharing. Okay, I'll stop presenting. And now I present a Chrome tab, and maybe this one. Share. Can you see something?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We see the tab.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm shutting off my
Switch on
mic
your microphone from your mobile so that you can.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing now. I'll shut off the microphone and then we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Seems to be taking a lot of time. Should I go to the other tab and try, or I don't know?
No, ma'am. Actually, it's like a network issue. So Rahi will continue with the questions.
Yeah, we can start the questions, Rahi. The moment the video comes, then we can show it, because it's just a 6-minute video, so it really should not,
Okay, ma'am. Perfect. Okay, so a couple of students have asked questions. I'll ask them to you. What is the scope of dentistry, MDS, in Germany as an international student?
All right, yeah. So why I didn't cover this is for two reasons. Point number one, all human medicine in Germany is available only in the German language. And point number
Oh, okay.
two, that the DAAD does not, since the, how should I say, since the BDS or MBBS degree from Germany, from India is not equivalent to the, does not have equivalence in Germany, and both require a special license because you are working, with, it's a clinical job. So both require special license, and for that you will require to get in touch with another sister organization of ours, of the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce from the Labor Ministry, which is the Pro Recognition.
Okay.
PRO,
Pro
P
recognition.
capital and R capital. Pro Recognition. They are based out of Pune.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, one more question. What is the scope of MBA in Germany for international students?
So basically, management, let me say, rather than MBA, because there is a differentiation in Germany in MBA and MS management. So MBA generally requires 2 to 3 years of work experience, and practically all MBA courses are chargeable courses, which means they are not free of cost. Whereas the MS management, on the other hand, is generally for freshers, and these are free of cost courses. So that's the differentiation. So you will have to see if you have that work experience, and the MBA courses can be quite costly in Germany, ranging the fees ranging anywhere between 10 to 12,000 euros per semester. So that's a huge
Oh,
amount.
okay.
That's a huge amount of fee.
Yes,
So that is
yes,
something
ma'am.
that you will want to look at, So differentiation of MBA and MS management is very important here.
Yes, ma'am. One more question. So you said that Munich was very costly. So a student is asking which is the best or the most affordable college in Germany, including all living expenses.
Yeah, as I said, you have to check that, because the whole idea of a small town or a university town, you know, is something where the
Mhm.
cost can be anywhere between, 600 to 700 euros as well. It also depends on your personal lifestyle, finally, this is just
Right, right.
an approximate number, or a cost that one can say, but it completely depends on your own lifestyle, and different people have different lifestyles. So, that factor always needs to be taken into consideration. So cities, for example, like, Düsseldorf or Aachen, if you have heard of the RWTH Aachen, I'm
Yes.
sorry, RWTH Aachen, yeah, or, various other universities. There are lots, but the most important thing is that which is the course that you want to attend more than the university or the town. Which is the course that you want to attend is the most important in Germany, because for two reasons. Despite there being 400 universities in Germany, you are not going to get 400 English language courses in the subject. Point number one.
Right.
Point number two is that since master's is a specialization, they are not going to be identical courses. So, say for example, X university is giving you a course that has X plus 1, or x1 plus y, or whatever, something like that. The other course is x plus y plus a little bit of z also, so that is something that you need to look at according to your interest and your future planning, as to what is it that you are really interested in. So I would say, the first thing, that when you are going to Germany, you have to get out of your US based thinking. That's extremely important.
Right, right. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
in US, everybody teaches in English. So there are everybody has got the courses. But in Germany, it's not like that. Yeah. The focus of the university and whether the university is offering an English language course is extremely important. So the course is far more important than the university. Apart from that, some very small universities have got a very major focus on some specific subjects, and they are top of the notch in that subject. So that is also something that you need to look at and do a little bit of research on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Also, can we? I don't think the video is working, so we can stop the video and just continue with it.
I will maybe try to.
It's fine, ma'am.
Completely go back and once try from here. No, doesn't seem to be working today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll continue with the questions.
That's no problem.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll continue with the questions.
Yeah. So a student is asked, is having a good CGPA the only criteria, or do other things like projects and skills matter too?
That is the most important criteria.
For Daad scholarship.
There's a difference
but do other things.
There's a difference between the DAAD scholarship and getting an admission into a German university. So for the German university also, and as well as the DAAD, your academic track record is the most important thing.
Okay. But do universities or even during scholarships, does DAD consider other factors, or is it only the academic record?
See, for example, as I said in the PhD scholarship, if you don't have a first class, your application will not be accepted. So until unless your application does not get accepted, only then all these things will come into consideration, like your letter of motivation, letter of recommendation, project, or whatever XYZ it is. So similarly with the German universities also, the first thing that they will do is generally convert your Indian grades into the German grade, which is the Modifizierte Bayerische Formel. And generally you need to have a 70% to be able to even your application to get accepted. Only if your application gets accepted, then all those things will come into the picture, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the most important thing first is, you have to have the sufficient grades. Not only grades, it's also important that you have the sufficient ECTS points. So for example, generally in Germany for science and technology, you require 210 ECTS, which generally corresponds to 4 years of a bachelor's in India. Okay, from premier institutes. The issue comes when you have a 3 years degree. So if you have done a diploma plus 3 years of graduation, then that will not be considered, because a diploma is not considered as a valid qualification, which means that you have only a 3 years degree. And then again, there isn't a unified credit system in India. So every university has a credit system. So what happens is that although generally 3 years of education in India can correspond to 180 ECTS, but it completely depends from university to university. For example, a 3 years from a Mumbai university gives you only 145 or 147 credit points, which means you don't become eligible.
Right.
Yeah. So your transcript is the most important tool to see whether you match the credits or not the years.
Right. Another student has asked, what is the salary of part-time jobs for students?
It completely depends on, first of all, what sort of job it is, and what is the language proficiency. So it can vary from anywhere between 9 euros to about 13.5 to 14 euros per hour.
Okay. Also, is there any CGPA requirement for a scholarship for doing MS in Germany?
For MS? Yeah, generally, as I said, it's 60%. But again, you will please have to check the exact scholarship document for that. But generally, it is 60%, first class, if not more.
Okay.
Also, another
Um,
aspect, another aspect is that the DAAD scholarship application and the application to the university go simultaneously to the university for most of the courses. So until unless you don't get an admission, you can't apply for the DAAD scholarship.
right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they work hand in
Also,
hand always.
yes. Also, some students have asked the scope of masters in economics in Germany. Could you talk a little about that?
Again, don't ask me about the scopes and things like that, because if you see, the scope is huge. I mean, there have been Nobel laureates in
Right.
economics as well from Germany. But what is it that you
Right.
are looking for? So the most important thing for you is to get on to the international programs web search engine. In the keyword, put in your field as economics, choose the degree as master's, and then you will get a listing of the programs. Go to the course programs and see whether you are interested in these programs or not. Scope is, of course, there. Scope is there in management, scope is there in finance. Show me one manufacturing unit that works without management and finance, please. Yeah, people tend to make it into boxes, but it does good in Germany is good in manufacturing, but manufacturing does not work by itself. No, there is management, there is finance
Right.
always. And Frankfurt, in fact, is the financial, hub of Europe. So it is available. The question is whether you find something of your interest or not.
Right. Right. Correct. Also, ma'am, could you please talk a little bit more about the HSK scholarship?
Yeah, so the HSK, which is the Hochschul-Sommerkurs Scholarship, is meant to deepen your understanding of the language and culture. Okay, so this scholarship is available for students who are enrolled for bachelor's or master's. For bachelor's, they are either in their second year or master's first year, and they have a B1 language proficiency. Now, the language proficiency is not, I'm sorry, but not the only two certificates that are accepted for language proficiency are the Goethe Institute, Maximella Bhavan, or we
Mm-hmm.
have our own examination. The test DAF,
Okay.
the test DAF organization, which is, the DAAD is also a part of the test DAF. And we have an examination. So you can take that examination and then, that certificate is accepted. No other certificate is accepted.
Okay. And what is the procedure for applying for scholarships through DAD?
Different scholarship have got different procedures. So you will have to really look at the rules and regulations of each particular scholarship. But as I said, generally for masters, the application goes, sometimes simultaneously to admission to the university as well as to the DAAD at the same time.
Right.
Whereas for HSK, again, once you are eligible in terms of that you are in your second year of bachelor's or first year of master's or whatever, and you have a B1 certification, then you can apply for that. For PhD, again, as I said, you have to have an acceptance either from an individual professor or admission to a structured program, as well as 60%, as well that you haven't been in Germany for the last 15 months. And then you can apply for the scholarships. Everything is online. All scholarship application is online. So if you
Right.
go
Okay.
to the scholarship, the funding options under daad.in, you will find all these programs available, and you can check them out. If you can't find them out, you can write to me and I will send you the link.
Okay, that's perfect. One last question. So, considering the corona situation right now, when do you think the scholarships and everything will begin again?
Well, it completely depends on two aspects. Point number one, as of today, the MHA has suspended all immigration activities. So
Right.
it's not only Germany, it's also the Indian government. Point number one. Point number two, it completely depends on when the presence lectures or whatever start in Germany, because right now everything is online. Even the winter semester this year, in all likelihood, will be completely online.
Right.
So international flights, this, that. So it's not only Germany, it is how the entire world is responding to this. There is nothing called isolated decisions in today's world.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
true.
all enmeshed into one another. So that is
Yes.
the thing. Yeah. So, but as of now,
Okay, well,
yeah. Tell me.
yeah, these are the no, that's it. These are the questions from our side. Were you saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying is that the scholarship holders, for most of the scholarship holders, the DAAD has already sent them back to their home countries if that has been feasible. For those who have been stuck in Germany, DAAD is taking complete care of them. So yeah, so as of now, that is the thing. And in the next coming days, we will also be uploading a statement from the president of the DAAD, Dr. Joybroto Mukherjee. Yeah, so that's one more example that in Germany, there is no quota or anything. If you have it in you, you can rise to the, pinnacle, so to say.
Right.
Yeah, so the DAAD president, Dr. Joybroto Mukherjee's statement will be uploaded in a few days on our websites. So you can take a look at that as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, these were all the questions from our side. If you have anything to say, any concluding words?
Yeah, I would just like to thank everybody, especially the BITS team who has enabled me to, have a conversation with you today to present about the DAAD, because I personally feel that there is still a little lack of information. People don't have enough information that, these facilities are available. So it was really good to connect me to the larger audience. And thank you everybody who attended today's webinar.